Hello guys, what's up? My name is Kaska. Welcome to this beautiful tutorial of which I've prepared for you guys, especially on how to do high-end skin retouching. So let's be together and I'll go step by step so as each one of you will get to be understand the concept of high skin retouching. Also, if you're newbie and you have not yet subscribed, guys, do so, subscribe and hit the bell icon so as whenever I release new video, you'll be notified easily. So let me start now. As you can see, our beautiful portrait has been shot by a photographer called Galaxy Studio and has been shot by Sony, as you can see, Sony ILSE. Then let's dig in by starting. First of all, as you can see, our image is on raw settings, so I'll simply because I'm also a raw user, so I'll simply change the profile option here from Adobe Color to Adobe Landscape. That's the first thing I will do if I was the editor. So if you're using raw settings, I suggest to change the profile color from Adobe Color to Adobe Landscape. So if you're not a raw user, don't worry. So you simply open your image. Nothing is gonna change if you're not using raw settings. Just open your image simply like that and follow my steps. You'll see a very wonderful result. So our image is just like that and has been loaded successful. So the first thing I will do, I will start with the frequency separation. Then I'll follow another step of dodge and burn. Then I will calculate my image. After that, I'll add my shines on my image just like that. And then after, I'll finalize with the saving my image without changing of color. So I'll start with the frequency separation. So simple like that. Let me not speak too much. Let me dive in now. So I'll duplicate my background layer from 2 layers. Simply drag my background layer. I'll drag and add 2 layers. The first layer is, I'm going to name it the high frequency, and the second one I'll name it low frequency. Low frequency deals with the color of our image, and high frequency deals with the textures and the details of our image. That's why we duplicate these 2 layers. And then the second step, I'll minimize, or I'll make invisible the high frequency layer. Then I will select the low frequency. Then I'm going to apply the Gaussian blur on the low frequency. So I come to filter, blur, then Gaussian blur. So this is a very important point of which we're going to zoom out our image. There is zoom out and zoom in. So we're going to zoom out and then we're going to drag our image to a point where we see we found textures and details. I'll zoom in a little bit my image. Also adjust my radius to 0 so as we can see the details very clearly. And then once we analyze, some places where I see details. See, these are details and textures of our image. So the role of the Gaussian blur is that we are going to apply the Gaussian blur to a point that we see no details. We left a very low amount of details on our image, and that's how it is. Let me show you how we apply Gaussian blur. So I will put my radius, I will adjust my radius, or I will increase my radius to a point where I see less details on my skin surface here. As you can see, they're still visible, so I'll increase my radius. Still they are visible. I'll increase my radius also. I can see also they are still there. I'll continue to increase my radius. Let me increase a little bit. Yeah, this is a perfect now. Yeah, 10 is very fine. So the textures, let me increase a little bit. Yeah, that's how it is. You see, they are completely disappear, but not really completely disappear. But I really recommend, guys, adjust the radius to a point where you see them and not too much completely. So that's how it is. Then I'll hit OK. After adding Gaussian blur on my image, I'll come to high frequency, then I'll make it visible. After that, I'm going to apply my image on high frequency layer. So I'm going to select image, then apply image. So there are several settings here you need to focus on. There's layer, channel, blending option, opacity, and invert option. On the layer option, you change it from merged to low frequency. Then channel RGB remain the same. Blending option, you change it from multiply to add. Then opacity remain 100. Scale remain 2. Offset remain 0. On the invert option, if it's not checked, you have to check it. Then you check preview also. Then hit OK. After applying my image, now I'll come to change the blending option of the high frequency layer from normal to linear light. So we've already created the low frequency and the high frequency, and now I'm going to put them into one group. So I simply hold Command. If you're using Mac, if you're using Windows, hold Control. Then highlight all two layers, then drag them into group folder to put them into one group. Then name that group frequency separation. So that's how we create the low frequency and high frequency and how we make them into one group. Another thing, we need to duplicate the low frequency and the high frequency layers. So we're going to work on copy layers. So we're going to duplicate the low frequency. After duplicating the low frequency, you're going to duplicate also the high frequency layer. You see, there is changes appeared here. Once we add another layer of high frequency, as I told you, high frequency layer is for textures, and so the textures has been increased once we add the high frequency copy. See, this is before adding this layer. This is after adding our high frequency layer. So a lot of textures has been doubled or increased. So we're going to fix this. We don't need this result here. We don't want too much sharpness of our image. And so we're going to change the blending option of high frequency copy from linear light into normal. Then you're going to right click our image. Then we create a clipping mask. That's how we solve that too much sharpness of textures. And so once we create this copy of high frequency layer and low frequency layer, we are going to do some color matching of our image. So as you can see, there are too much colors on our image. There is blacks, there is whites, there is reds, I don't know, orange, there is this blackish colors, there is too much color, there is greenish here. We want uniform color of our image. So to do that, to create a color matching of our skin tone or skin details, we're going to select the low frequency layer, and then we're going to add the blank layer between the low frequency copy layer and high frequency. So this layer, we're going to name it color matching. I believe you're together, guys. So if you have any question, just write down there and I will answer you immediately. So once I create the blank layer of color matching, you can call whatever it is. Then I'm going to change the blending option of this blank layer from normal into color. So after that, we're going to pick our normal brush here, and we're going to zoom out. We're going to expand our slider. Then make sure opacity is 10. Zoom a little bit, image. Then another important thing, we're going to pick a surface of the skin so as it can, the surface of that skin color, specific skin color that can, we can use it to resemble or to make matching of the whole entire skin part or skin surface. So we're going to hold Alt, or if you are using Mac, hold Option. Then pick a surface of the skin which is not too dark, also it's not too bright, it's just moderate. For example, I can say here. Yeah, that's very, very good. There are too many surfaces here. For example, there's this part here. All right, so mine, I'll choose, okay, let me find a very, very perfect place. Okay, this part is where I see is very, very good. So now when opacity is 10, flow is 100, make sure also color matching is on, color matching layer is on blending option of color, and then you are free to do some color matching of the skin. So we simply do some color matching here. You just do the color matching on the entire skin so as you make everything right, but no, don't do on the lips, guys. Make sure just do the color matching around the lips, but not on the lips, because as you can see, the lips has its own glowish effect, glowish color, so you will ruin it. All right. Now we have done with the color matching. So let's see before and after. This is before. Let me zoom a little bit. This is before. This was after. Before, after. You see, that's how we do color matching, guys, and we resolve the skin tone. So after doing color matching, now we go to another step of smoothing our image. So simply we're going to duplicate another blank layer, and then you're going to name it smoothing. So now we are exactly digging on the frequency aberration now. So once you've already created the blank layer, change the blending option of it. No, you don't change of it. You don't change the blending option of it. Just simply pick a mixer brush and then make sure has this settings right here. Make sure first of all it's clean brush. That's the first thing you need to understand. Make sure weight is 5%, load is 25%, mix is 50, flow is 50. Make sure also this part of sample all layers you check it. If it's not checked, you have to check it. And also, as I told you, don't change the blending option of smoothing. Just leave the way it is from normal. And so now we're going to do some blending, of which now we're going to make invisibility of the high frequency layer. And now we are free to start the blending. And the blending of the mixer brush, it requires, I can say it requires, or you're supposed to blend on the highlights alone and shadows alone. We don't mixing blending, because if we do so, we're going to shift colors of our image. So we're going to start on this press like this. Like that, we blend it very, very selective. And then we shift like that. We just do very, very slowly and sure. Just don't rush. If it's place of highlights, you blend highlights alone. And if it's place of shadows, you blend shadows alone. See, this is highlights place, so I'll simply blend very selective like that. So I'll shift to other part here. Guys, you have to do it very slowly, so as the expected result you'll get to have it. Okay, guys, let's see our result now. We've done a proper skin retouch using frequency separation. Now let's us enable the high frequency, or make it visible. You see, this is the before, this is the after. Wait, this is before we've done smoothing, this is after, guys. You see, it's very awesome. Before, after, before, after, but still they are leftovers. They are leftovers, so we're going to finish them. Let's also make it invisible. We're going to do a little bit of smoothing. Just in case we left some place, we're going to resolve like that. If you want good result, guys, don't rush. Okay, we are done with them. Okay, let's do a little bit on hairs. Be guys. Be flexible. Retouch everything. Everything you see, retouch. As long as you obey that rule that you retouch on highlights and shadows. That's the thing to obey. Okay, let's now enable our image. So this is before, this is after. You see, guys, so much good, so much awesome. Now let's dig in. We're going to remove some blemishes of our image. So we're going to select the high frequency copy. As I told you, high frequency layer is for textures. Textures include with the blemishes and some wrinkles. So we're going to resolve with the high frequency copy here. So there are too many ways to remove the blemishes. There are too many tools. For example, we can use this constant tool. Also, we can use spot healing brush, patch tool. So today I think let's do some let's use the healing brush tool here. So simply right click and select the healing brush tool here. Then healing brush tool, you expand your slider and make sure, for example, this is the blemish. Make sure the size of the healing brush tool is bigger than the blemish. So once it's bigger, meaning that you can remove it very, very quickly. So move aside on the blemishes, then hold Alt so as you can pick a sample on the surface of the skin which is clean, then you remove that blemish like that. So you pick a sample, hold Alt, pick a sample. Let's zoom a little bit. Pick a sample here which is clean, free from blemish. Then come to this part of the blemish, then remove that blemish like that. So hold Alt, remove that blemish like that. It's very, very simple and cool process. Hold Alt, remove that blemish. Simple like that. Hold Alt, remove blemish. Hold Alt, remove blemish like that. Hold Alt, remove blemish. Hold Alt, remove blemish like that. Hold Alt, remove blemish. Hold Alt, remove blemish like that. Hold Alt, remove blemish. Hold Alt, remove blemish, just like that. Wait, there is things here happen. Let me undo first of all. Okay, this is my blemish, a very big one. So I'll hold Alt and then I'll move that part of the blemish. Hold Alt. Okay, if you see something is not good, you just undo by pressing Ctrl or Command Z, or simply come here on edit, then undo. So you undo and then you proceed very, very smartly. Okay, this part here, okay, that's how we'll do removing of the blemish. Simple as that. So that's how we have done remove of the blemishes, and our image looks perfect. There is few things here, let me settle them. There is some blemishes here, let me fix them. There is this hair thing right here. You hold Alt or Option, then you remove the blemish. Now everything is settled. Okay, I think let's add a little smoothing on our image. We simply come on this low frequency layer, select it, copy. This copy of the frequency layer, we're going to do or to add some extra smoothing on our image. Then select the lasso tool. Then make sure you select this first box. And then make sure feather is 18 pixels. Then once you've done that, you're going to highlight the skin surface of which you want to add some smoothing. Once you highlight that skin surface, come to filter, blur, then Gaussian blur, of which you're going to adjust the size of the Gaussian blur to the radius of your preference. Let me use 12.5. Then come to this other part here. Also, I use it the same. Come to this part. Add some Gaussian blur. Also on this forehead again. You highlight very freely. Come to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, 11.1 is very, very cool. Okay, on the nose part, I believe you're together, guys. So you highlight in all places you want to add smoothing. Okay, we've already added some extra smooth. And let's see before and after, guys. This is before, this is after. This is where we started. This is before, this is before, this is after. Now we are free with the free frequency separation. Now we are going to another step of dodge and burn. So simply dodge and burn is a simple method of which I'm going to show you the ways you can add depth of the skin, and your image will have the most beautiful look you ever see. So you simply need to create the curves. So come down here, then select adjustment layer, then select curves. We need to have 2 curves. So we're going to duplicate another curve here. Those 2 curves, one will be for dorge, another one for band. So dorge is for highlights, and the band is for shadows. So we're going to make them into one group. Hold Control or Command, then highlight them together, then drag them, place them into one group, and then name that group dorge and band. So simply expand your group. Then now, as I told you, dorge is for highlights and band is for shadows. So simply we need to change these 2 blending option of dorge and band. First of all, dorge, we're going to change the blending option of it from normal to screen. Simple like that. Once you've already changed the blending option of it, select the layer mask twice, then okay, expand, then invert, then come to band. Now change the blending option of it from normal to multiply. Select the layer mask twice, then invert, close that layer. Now we've already created the dorge and band curve layer, and so we are going to duplicate another dorge and band group layer, of which the first group layer, it will be for global dorge and band, and the second will be for local dorge and band. Why global dorge and band? Why local dorge and band? The local dorge and band, simply it's going to resolve the highlights and shadows. For example, whenever we find shadows on highlights, we're going to resolve with the local dorge and band, or whenever we find shadows on highlights. So the correction there we're going to do with the local dorge and band. On the global dorge and band is that we're going to add depth of our skin. So the global dorge and band is going to deal with the skin depth of our image. So we need to understand that. Now we have to proceed with the local dorge and band, then followed with the global dorge and band. But before start anything, we are going to apply black and white color that will help us to see or to distinguish where is the highlight, where the shadows. So to apply black and white color, come to adjustment layers, then we select the solid color, of which we're going to pick this side here. Then we make sure the size here, I can say the value of B, we make it 50. Here on the B, make sure it's 50. Then hit OK. Change the blending option of the black and white color from normal to color. So this is a perfect black and white color that it will help us to see where the highlights, where the shadow. But if you don't know where the highlights, where the shadows, let me show you, if you don't mind. Now let me add this layer here. So just don't do anything right here. Just watch. Just only watch. All right, let me pick my sample here. All right, let me use red. So red is for shadows, so look very careful, guys. Okay, let me add opacity. So these are the shadows. Let me highlight the shadows where light didn't fall. So these are the shadows, guys. See? These are the shadow, guys. Whenever you see blacks, those are the shadows. So let me choose another color for. Okay, this yellow color, it will be for highlights. So I'm going to highlight all the highlights. If you don't know where the highlights, guys, these are the highlights. Where light strike or fall. So guys, these are the shadows. So these are the whites and the blacks, the highlights and shadows. So as I told you, the red line or the red mark I make is for shadows. See, and the yellow ones are the highlights. You see. So this black and white color helps us to work very perfect. Although it's not must to use the black and white color, but I recommend you guys to use it so as you'll be work very good. So I simply delete this my illustration layer, then I'll proceed with the local dodge and burn. As I told you, local dodge and burn helps us to resolve the highlights and shadows. For example, on dodge, we are going to start with. So whenever we see shadows on highlights, we are going to resolve with the dodge. So simply select your normal brush, adjust the opacity around 2%. We keep this low opacity so as we need seamless results. So on highlights, we're going to remove some shadows that appears on highlights. For example here. So we make it the highlight surface pop out. Okay. Simple as that. Okay, let's go for ban now. So whenever we see highlights on shadows, I'm going to remove them like that. Okay, let's go for now for global dodge and ban. We're going to reduce a little bit. We're going to now set opacity into 1. Now this is how we're going to add depth. So simply, dodge is for shadows, ban is for dodge is for highlights, and ban is for shadows. So we're going to start with dodge. So in all highlights surface, we're going to fix with dodge. All highlights surface skin. Come for ban now, and then fix all shadow places. Okay guys, we are free. We are free with the dodge and ban, global dodge and ban, and local dodge and ban. Now we're going to delete this black and white color. So this is how we've done dodge and ban. So let's make them these two groups, layer of global dodge and ban and local dodge and ban into one group. So I highlight them together and drag them into one group. Name that group dodge and ban. So this was before, this was after. Before, after. As you can see, our image, excuse me guys, our image has been added depth, and it's no longer the plastic before and after. You see, yeah. Now we are free to go on the color grading, guys. So simply merge our layer. We need to merge our layer. Press Ctrl Shift Alt E, and if you're using Mac, press Command Shift Option E, and then convert this layer. Right click and then convert to Smart Object. Then come to filter, then camera raw filter. This panel is going to help us to color grade our image. All right. On this side now, we're going to fix some things here. All right. First of all, there's this basic correction we need to make. All right. So there's this part of temperature, tints, exposure, contrast, highlights, and so forth. So let's start with temperature. Okay. Let's reduce a little bit temperature, and then we add some exposure. Also, we add some contrast, a little bit, not too much. Okay, let's add some highlights, a little bit, yeah, and add some shadows. All right. Okay. Let's reduce. Let's add the hairs. Okay, texture and clarity, give them 0. Then add some vibrance and saturation also. And let's reduce a little bit saturation. 4 is very nice. Then come to HCL adjustment, and then add some reds and some orange a little bit. Also add some blues. All right, also add some magenta. All right, come to split toning. Add the saturation of reds because it's on hue reds. You can adjust the slider, but I want some yellowish results or yellowish looks. And then after that, come to color calibration. There is this blue primary part, then I'll add saturation of it. Okay. Also, there's this background thing. Let's come back on HCR adjustment. We're going to add a little bit of orange. Okay. Now we are free to go. So let's see before and after. This is before, this is before, this is after. It's very cool, guys. It's very cool. If you want to save these settings, you just simply come to this right bottom corner, load it, and then sorry, you don't need to load. With a right click and save. Reload because we load and we haven't yet done anything of saving. So we save our settings right here. Then I'm going to save it Casca or wherever. And my name is Casca, so I'm going to name it Casca. Let me write 45. Yeah, Casca 45. And then when I want, or if I want to apply my preset, I come to this right bottom corner. Then I search for Casca 45. This one. This is all our settings we've done. Then after I've done that, I'll commit changes by press OK. So guys, that's how we calculate our image, and this is before, this is after. But I'm not yet satisfied with the color. Let me add a little bit of preset. So let me add some preset right here. I'm not yet satisfied with the result here, so let me add some little bit flavor. I'll come on this right bottom corner, then I load the settings. So these settings, I can say this preset is found on the description there. So if you want that, just simply download it and then you use it on your personal use. So it will go, it's going to change your workflow. So simply select it, apply it on your image. Okay. We add presets. So we're going to adjust a little bit things here. Okay, there is too much exposures on our image, so I'll reduce my exposure a bit. Also, contrast is too high, I'm going to reduce it. And some highlights also going to reduce, and reduce some shadows a bit. At least the result I want, it's a bit coming. So I'm going to adjust some blacks a bit also. Then on the clarity thing, I'm going to reduce it and reduce some dehaze. Let's increase and see how it is. So let's increase, let's increase some dehaze. There is fine. I'm just showing you how to do this applying preset and color grading. So don't do exact thing as I'm doing, just apply the settings accordingly to your image. So if you do the same as mine, you won't get the results. So I just give you some concept on how to do color grading and how to apply some preset so as your workflow become amazing. So on vibrancy, I reduce a bit of vibrancy and saturation. See, at least the image that I want is coming. So let's come back on HCL adjustment and increase a little bit of reds and oranges. Let's reduce, no. So we need to increase our orange. Also, there's too much greenish. Let's reduce some greenish right here. And some blue. I'm going to add some blues. Let's come on hue. Okay, let's apply things here. Do some greenish and okay, orange. I'm going to zoom a little bit my image and apply what's best. So after that, I see some too much orange, so I'm going to do some a little bit orange, reds, and come back on these basic settings and reduce some vibrance, I guess. So let's come on split toning. Let's adjust some hue thing here. Okay, let's come back on this side here. And then I'll reduce some saturation of it. You just add and reduce, increase and decrease, so as you can get the perfect thing you dream about. Come through color calibration and then reduce some blue primary so as results won't be too much. Also, I'll do some saturation of green. Also saturation of reds. Let's increase a bit. All right, that's how we add adjust some presets. You can also save the settings you made, and then you're going to save it whenever name. I show you how to save or and create um, your preset. So let's see. This is before. Let's wait a bit. This is before where we start. This is after, guys. You see, there are changes we've made. We've done color grading, but we've not we didn't get satisfied with the first color grading, and then we've done this color grading with my preset there. So you simply, if you need that preset, just simply download it on my description. Then I'm already satisfied with the color grading here. So I'll commit changes by place OK. Let's wait. Color grading is let's wait a bit. Almost done. So now we are very satisfied with the color grading we've done. Let's see before and after. This is a before, this is after, guys. Very awesome. So now let's come to the another thing. You're going to add shine on our image, of which we're going to have black and white color, white color, of which you come to adjustment color, then you set solid color, then you're going to push it way to the white color, then you're going to hit OK. We make this group color, we make it the white color into group, then we name it skin glow or skin shine. So we're going to duplicate as many white color. So once you duplicate many white solid color, we're going to switch off all of this and we're going to leave only white solid color. Then we select the thumbnail layer, we right click and select the blending option. Alright. On this part now, we're going to push an underlying layer from blacks to whites, from shadows to highlights. To do so, we are going to drag this underlying layer. As you can see, this is the shine we need to add on our image. So we add very selectively. For example, here we hold Alt to separate the slider, then we push the slider to the end. Hit OK, select the layer mask, then invert. Pick your normal brush, adjust opacity into 100, then add shine like that. Adjust opacity a bit so as we get seamless result. Come to another solid white color, then enable it, right click the thumbnail layer, then select the blending option. On the underlying layer, push the slider to the end, Now let's add this part here. Okay, hold Alt and then push your slider to the end. Hit OK. Select the layer mask twice, then invert. Then adjust the opacity. Okay, come to another solid white color, enable it. Right click the thumbnail layer, then select the blending option. Adjust the thumbnail, the underlying layer. Okay. Okay, let's add a bit here. Okay, hold Alt to separate the slider, then push the slider to the end. Hit OK. Select the layer mask twice, then invert. Pick your brush, make sure opacity is 100, flow is 100. Then apply some glowing of the skin. Then adjust the opacity a bit. Alright guys, let's do another thing here. Enable your white color, right click and then select the blending option. On the underlying layer, as I told you, okay, I think we are done. Let's add this part. Hold Alt and remove the blemish. Hold Alt and separate the slider, and then hit OK. Select the layer mask twice, then invert. Okay, adjust opacity. Now we are done adding the shine. You can do more than this. So I simply delete the remain white color. So let's see how far we add shine on our skin. This is before, this is after. This is before, this is after. You can do more than that. Alright. After adding shine on our skin, and the last thing, I think we don't need to clean our eyes and teeth because our eyes of our model has been closed. So and the mouth is also closed, so we don't need to clean eyes and teeth. And so the last thing I think we need to add sharpening on our image. So I'll merge my layer by pressing Ctrl Shift Alt E, or if you're using Mac, you press Command Option Shift E. Command Shift Option E. Then convert the image into smart object. So after you convert the layer into smart object, come to filter. What's wrong with this? Come to filter, then sharpen, then sorry guys, let me do a bit. Filter. What's wrong with this PC? As I told you, we need to add sharpen on our image. So simply select filter, then sharpen, then unsharp mask. So zoom out your image so as you can see amount of sharpening. Then adjust the sharpening to 1. Now apply the sharpening you want. don't do a little much sharpening, just a bit. Mine 36 is very fine for me. Then I'll hit OK. And so guys, that's how we add shine, and I think we are done with high-end skin retouching. And the final thing, I'll show you how to save your image so as it won't change color. So just do like this: come to file, then export, then export as. I'll show you different ways you can save your workflow without changing of color. Our image has been loaded successful, and so the format must be like this, all the settings. First of all, the format of our image must be on JPEG. The quality depends on your preference. Mine, I prefer 100% quality. Width, height, and scale remain the same. The example, to my side, I prefer the sharpest result. So I select bicubic sharper. Also, the width and height remain the same. Also, this down, that's part of metadata. If you want information to appear, you just select copyright and contact info. But I leave it none because I don't prefer my information to appear. Also, on the color space, make sure you check these two option: convert to RGBs and embed color or color profile. Then that's how we set or we save our image without changing of color. After everything, then I'm going to export my image. You choose the directory you want to save your image. Okay, mine I save here. Then I save my workflows just like that. So my image there will not change color. It will be the color I see right here. It will remain the same and it won't change. So let me show you the second step. You can save your image without changing color. Come also on file, then export. If export as is not available, the first option I showed you, the second step is save for web legacy. So you click on it. Wait our image to load. So guys, our image has been loaded successful. Make sure the format as follows. That's just the same as the first option I showed you. Make sure it's on JPEG. The quality, as I told you, I prefer 100%. Make sure you check on this optimized and you check on embed color profile. Make sure also you check on the convert to RGB. Also make sure the preview should be on monitor color. And metadata, if you want your information to appear, just simply pick your favorite there. The width and height remain the same. Wait, there is this loading. Okay, the quality, as I told you, I prefer sharper results, so I'll simply select bicubic sharper. Okay, let's wait a bit. So as I told you, width and height remain the same, and then the quality, as I told you, I prefer sharper results, so I select the bicubic sharper. Then I save my image. I choose directly, then I'm going to save my image, but I've already saved my image, so I don't need to save again. So that's how we can save our image without changing of color, guys. I believe this tutorial has been very helpful to you guys. As I told you, we've set the frequency, how to do some frequency separation and remove some blemishes. And the second part, we've done dodge and burn, of which we've seen local dodge and burn and global dodge and burn, guys. And then after dodge and burn, we've done color grading of everything here. And then we add shine of our image, guys. And then finally, we've done sharpening. And finalist thing, I have showed you how you can save your image without changing of color. So guys, this is our result. This was before anything, before we've done anything. And this is the after, guys. So I believe you see the changes here, before and after, guys. So guys, I insist, guys, if you're new by and you have not yet subscribed, guys, just subscribe and hit the bell icon, and also keep practicing, keep learning, keep share these videos, and invite your friends to learn the skin retouching using frequency separation, and also keep learning, keep practicing, keep creating, because if you do practice, you'll be perfect. So guys, I wish you all the best. I believe you are tired. Let me not keep let me not keep talking too much, guys. Let's see on other times. I wish you all the best. God bless you.